The dress shirt is made in Bangladesh, the two-piece pinstripe suit, Indonesia, the silk tie and cufflinks, made in China. What brings this ensemble all together is the name on the label. They are all Donald J. Trump's signature brand.
What can you tell me about where these were made?
Well, Bangladesh, for example, has the lowest wages and the worst and most unsafe working conditions of any major apparel exporting country.
Scott Nova heads an independent labor rights group that conducts investigations of the garment industry, which he says is an industry on the hunt for ever cheaper labor. And shipping documents reviewed by CNN confirm Trump's signature brand is no different. Take this shirt. In 2014, it would have been sewn together in a factory in Honduras, where workers make an average $1.30 an hour. It wasn't cheap enough. That same year, the company Donald Trump hired to make his shirt in Honduras ended the Honduran contract. Our Donald Trump shirt, bought recently over the internet, was made in Bangladesh, where the average garment worker earns 30 cents an hour. What's Trump's explanation for manufacturing his clothing overseas? Listen to what he told Jake Tapper as Jake showed him his made in China Trump tie.
It's a lovely tie.
Yeah.
It's made in China.
Correct.
Is it hypocritical at all for you to talk about this?
My ties, many times, are made in China. Not all of them, by the way, but a lot of them are made in China because they've manipulated their currency to such a point that it's impossible for our companies to compete.
Why should you care?
That you ought to take a look at.
In Fall River, Massachusetts, Bob Kidder still makes an American-made shirt. His New England Shirt Company employs more than 60 people. He pays them $12 to $13 an hour. He admits it's a barely livable wage. Head up a narrow staircase, through a dilapidated section of this huge warehouse. He can show you where workers no longer make any wage.
Now there's nothing. There's nothing left. It's all gone.
First it was NAFTA, he says, then other international trade agreements, and the manufacturers found cheaper labor and left. He survives by producing a high-quality shirt custom-made that sells for a minimum of $125. The workers who sew them can't afford to wear them. We showed him a Donald Trump signature brand shirt made in Bangladesh, we bought for $16.96.
This is a product that is made by somebody in Bangladesh that sits at a machine for 10, 12 hours a day and just pumps them in, pumps them out, and makes 30 cents an hour. How do you talk about this and being made in an American factory versus this being made in a factory in Bangladesh?
That is a conversation that has made this election extremely personal to Bob Kidder.
The fact is that our country is being killed on trade by China, by Japan, by Mexico.
Donald Trump, right, is talking in ways that I think would make you feel good.
The reality is in front of me. The reality is this is the product. He made this shirt in Honduras 2 or 3 years ago, and now it's being made in Bangladesh, and maybe next year it's made in Vietnam, and maybe the year after Indochina. It moves to wherever the labor becomes the cheapest and his margin becomes higher and higher.
We asked Donald Trump's campaign spokesperson why Trump's clothing and accessories were made overseas. And we're told Donald Trump has been very open about the fact that most of these products are unfortunately not manufactured in the United States due to the extreme currency manipulation by countries like China that make it nearly impossible to compete and manufacture these products in America.
A CNN reality check found that statement to be false. It is simply not true that China has been manipulating its currency to benefit its own manufacturers. In fact, for the last 10 years, China's currency has been strengthening, the exact opposite of what Donald Trump implies. And if Donald Trump needs to learn how to manufacture clothing in the United States, Bob Kidder at the New England Shirt Company says he could probably show him how. Drew Griffin, CNN, Atlanta.